Hi guys. This group was always created about learning and participation. I'm going to give everybody an assignment, and by the end of May, if you have done the assignment, you will stay in the group. And everybody that hasn't done the assignment can take all the goodies I'm about to give away and go do something else. So I'm going to try and walk you through every step so you understand. So the first thing we're going to do is come up to File and create New. You want a 5-inch in your width, a 7-inch in your height. You want your resolution to be 300. You want it to be an 8-bit file, and your color doesn't really matter. And you're going to click OK. Then this is our new document. You are being given a shape that you will need to install into your software. This will work in Photoshop or Elements. If you haven't done anything like what I'm about to do, this is a great way to get in and play and learn, and there's no way you can make a mistake. Excuse me, because it's just whatever you want or whatever you see. There's no right or wrong here. I'm going to go to over here on my toolbar. This is your shape tool. I'm going to go into custom shape. These are my shapes. I'm going to go to this little gear and select import shapes. I'm going to go back to my desktop. This is the folder you will receive. I'm going to double click and it should have installed them here. You see how everything has a little triangle. You just click there and it will open up what you installed. I think I'm going to select this one. You just double click. Let's give ourselves a little room here. So to use a shape in Photoshop, you have options. It can be a shape, a path, or pixels. I'm going to choose just pixels. I'm going to go up to my image. I'm going to click at the top, and I'm just going to draw. You can hold or unhold your shift key depending upon how your software is set up. Mine is set up in the legacy way. So if I hold my shift key, it goes back to the proportions that Wendy made this tag set. Wendy, I'm going to leave mine kind of wide just because it gives us more space to play. And you see, I already did something wrong, which is okay. We can do things wrong and go back and undo it. I put my shape over here on my background layer, and I was not supposed to do that. So I'm going to hit Control Z, and that's going to undo it. I'm going to create a new layer here, and I'm going to do that again. Again, if you hold down your space bar, you can move this around. If you want it to be over here and you want it to be wider or taller, you can do what you want. I think I want mine a little thinner so it looks like a tag, and I'm going to let it go. I don't know if I want the white background. I'll figure that out later. To center it, so we're going over multiple things. what you do is you make sure your layer above is highlighted, and you hold down the control key. And so now both of your layers are highlighted. You select the move tool and you go up here and you're going to click on the center one, and that's going to center whatever you put horizontally and vertically. So we're going to leave it like that. My black color really doesn't matter because the first thing I'm going to do is add a texture. If it comes in as a shape that will not let you do anything because you had shape or path picked, you're going to want to right click in here and choose rasticize layer, and then it will let you make it like this. So let's go back in our folder that I'm sending. I'm going to select this texture, hold down my control key and select all three of these. I didn't send a lot of textures because we have so many textures you can choose from in the group. The way my Photoshop is set up, I work in cascade mode, and that means everything floats in its own box, individual box. Yours is probably set up where you have tabs and you go to each tab. It should still be the same. You just click on the layer you want, drag and drop it into your document. I'm going to add this one too. I like the canvas effect it gives. And I'm going to drop this one also. So I'm going to turn off these layers, and I'm going to start with that top texture layer. I'm going to hit Control T, and then you see how I have this little arrow. I'm going to turn it, and if I hold down my Shift key, it will center it. And then I'm just going to drag it so it covers. I'm going to double click to commit, and then we're going to make a clipping mask where you go between the two layers. You hold down your Alt key, and you see how suddenly you get this little arrow. You click the arrow, and now it has clipped it to whatever was underneath. And this is the question Lynette was asking yesterday. Let me turn the volume on my phone off. All right. So this is where we're going to start. And because I know I want to keep this texture, I am going to do Control E and merge it down. So now this is what my tag looks like. So let's label it tag. Let's see what else I may want to do. Everything else pretty much from here on out is going to be a lot about changing blend modes. I hit Control T here to free transform. And because my new layer is bigger than this layer, I have to hit Control and the 0 key, and it will bring up a box that you can now see what you want to free transform. And actually, I like this little part. So I think I'm going to drag that out just to add something different on our texture. Now, look, I have no idea how any of this is going to go. We're all just playing along. Let's go through our blend modes. If you click on normal and you just move your arrow key, it will change. Now, I kind of like that. That's multiply. Linear burns, not bad. See what else we get. Now, not really a fan, but it could be a possibility because it shows both options. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Penlight. Can you see how my edge still shows? So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold down my Alt key and clip this layer with this layer. And because I'm okay with it, I'm going to do Control E and merge that down. Let's do our next. I really like how this gives like a canvas look. So I'm not going to resize it. I kind of like it like that. So again, I'm going to hold down my Alt key and clip it. So now the design is just on my tag. And I'm going to do Control E and merge down again. I'm going to back up. I'm going to undo Control Z. Let's go try some blend modes on that. Because now we just have a white tag and that wasn't what I wanted. I still want the effect. I kind of like that one. Darker color. And just remember, you can pick whatever you want. Let's go back to darker color. If we zoom in, well, it just kind of gives us lines. It doesn't give us the canvas anymore. But I'm going to take that, I think. Let's go back to multiply. Nope, I think we're going to go with multiply. And I'm going to again do Control E and merge it down. All right, this is when we're just going to start piling stuff on. I'm going to do Control O again to open the folder that I'm sending. And let's select some stuff. I kind of like this. And we'll take this. Maybe this, some stars, some grunge. What else do we have? We'll take, no, I don't want a map. We can take some watercolor. And let's open that. I want you to add at least one texture and 4 elements from the folder and some kind of text. You don't have to add a picture, but just to show that you actually worked through it and played with it. All right, let's see. Let's go with this first. I'm going to drop and drag. I'm going to leave it like that. And go through my blend modes. Oh, I like that one. All right, we're going to leave that one. I'm going to do the same thing. It doesn't show. And we might lower the opacity a bit. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to clip it. And then I'm going to Control E to merge it down. I'm going to throw this one away. So I'm going to consider that one. Let's take this, drop and drag. I'm gonna close it. Control T. I know I'm gonna go fast just because it's gonna be kind of long. I don't think I want this everywhere. And I kind of like this part where it's fading out. So I'm going to rotate it, hold down my shift key, and just kind of put some on the bottom. Let's do something like change the color. So I'm going to click on my color picker. I'm going to go and maybe pick a blue. Yeah, I wanted more of a teal kind of color. I'm going to click OK. You'll see now that color is in your color picker. So when you want to recolor something that has a transparent background, the shortcut for that is Alt, Shift, and Backspace. And you will see now we are blue. I'm going to turn my other layers on. I'm going to do the Alt and clip it. And then I'm going to go to my blend modes. And if I don't like it at all, I'll just delete it. Oh, I don't hate the red. Okay, I think I'm going to keep the red, but I'm going to lower the opacity so it barely shows. Then I'm going to do Control E again to merge it down. Just move it over here. What else do we have? Oh, I have some grunge from an old boat that I took a picture of and made some grunge. I have so many things I could give away. And the purpose of this group is to give things away. But you're going to have to participate here to get it. So let's kind of leave it like that. And let's clip it to our tag. And check our blend modes, because I'm kind of okay with that. That one adds white. I kind of like it in the darker tones. Not that. Too much. Is it too much? Really? Yes. Okay. Talk me down. Let's go back to here. And we'll lower our opacity. Just to start giving our tag a little bit of interest. We're going to throw this on there. We're going to throw this on there. Let's do one at a time. I really like the splatters. I've always been a thing for dots. Where are we going to put them? And are they too big? Remember, Control T gives you your bounding box, and you can just move that back and forth with your wheel, with your mouse, as long as you don't let go. I think I'm going to put them up here close to the top, where one's kind of coming off the edge. I'm going to hit Enter to commit. I don't know if we want to keep them black. Black is a real grounding color, but I don't know if I want that yet. Oh, good. The lawnmower's starting. Oh, I kind of like the white. Let's leave it there. So I'm going to take our grunge layer and hold my Alt key. No, we did that. And Control E. And then I'm going to click this layer and Control E. We have one more. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna clip it together. I think I'm gonna drop my opacity, but I kind of like the brown, and take it down. So that's probably at least 4 things we have added. Let's do something pretty. We can do a flower. We can do some leaves, some stitching. I can show you how to do a paper clip. All right, let's not get carried away. This can't be an hour long. I'm gonna throw the flower on. I'm gonna throw the stitching on. Okay, I know I want my stitching to be down at the bottom. And it could actually look like, remember we're doing Control T. It could actually look like our flower is down here. Let's make it a hair smaller. And you can hit V, which will make your move tool work. And just use your arrow keys to move things over. So let's kind of put it in the corner. I want my stitching to be a little smaller. I'm going to Control T that. I'm going to hold my Shift key to keep my proportions. Maybe I liked it bigger. Maybe it can cover the flower. I'm okay with that. What if I'm going to go ahead and merge my flower down, doing Control E. But what if we took our stitching? I know this is going to get complicated. We're going to go to the bottom layer, and we're going to go here and make our colors black and white. And we're going to use our shortcut for a PNG file and hit Alt, Control, is it Alt, Shift, Backspace? No, I don't remember. So what that did was it made everything black. So it kind of grounded our stitching a little bit. So it looks a little more natural, and we can reduce that opacity. So it gives it a little more feel that it could be real. Maybe not, but it could be. Let's control, let's say you will. Let's go up to this one. And we're going to Control E to merge it with the shadow. And then we're going to Control E to merge it down on the tag. Let's pull our leaves in to see if we can put them anywhere. Control T. We will move them over here. Let's have it kind of coming out of the flower. And remember, whatever's on your top layer is what's going to show. Everything you bring in will come in above whichever layer is highlighted. So if you've got multiple layers, which is why I keep going and merging it down, it starts to be confusing. So in each time you bring something new in, it's going to come in above whichever layer is highlighted. If you need it to be somewhere else, you just click it and drag it where you want it to be. So let's play with our blend modes here. I'm kind of okay with that one. Okay, so I'm going to keep this one, but I think it's dominating the page a bit much, and we're just going to kind of move it over here. Let's see what else we can do. Let's add this. This is from Design Fruit, and they don't exist anymore. So hopefully it's okay to give it away. I am going to take my flower and do Control E and merge that down. And then I'm going to hold my Alt key and clip this together. But it's overpowering our flower. It's not really what I wanted. Let's do Control T and move it a bit. I like it. Let's take our eraser. I'm trying to keep everything so it can be worked in Elements. So we're going to erase and not do a mask. So I picked a soft eraser. I'm going to use my bracket key and make my brush big. I'm going to go up and probably hit about 70% here. And you can do that just by hitting the 7 and it will come up. And then we're just going to tap, maybe go down to 30. So we left some and we got rid of some. I'm going to do Control E and merge that back down. So let's call this done for the sake of the video. A couple of things I want to show. Oh, that was the stars we didn't use. So after you add your 4 elements, you need to add some type of text. You don't have to add a picture. We can just create a new blank layer. Go find our text tool. We want the horizontal text. And we're going to just click Have a nice day. And once you type, you will click on that layer and it becomes a regular layer. I'm going to do Control T. Let's bring it down here. Maybe lower it a bit. Okay, so we did everything I wanted. You added your elements, you created your tag, you added some text. There's one more thing I'm going to show you before I stop. We're going to highlight our tag layer, and we're going to use Control J and duplicate it. You don't have to do this part, but I do want to show you how. So we're going to do like we did on the thread and just make this whole thing black for a shadow. So we want to make sure black is selected in the color picker. And we're going to hit Alt, Shift, Backspace for our shortcut. Then on that shadow layer, I'm going to hit V to activate my move tool. And with my arrow key, I'm going to bring it down twice and to the right twice. So it gives it more definition on the page. You could even blur it, and it would add a bit more. Want to try that? Let's make a copy in case we don't like it. So let's turn one off, and we'll go up to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then watch on the edges. So if we come all the way down and we start going up, you'll start to see it on this side. See it there? So it's not a bunch. I'm going to leave it there. It's not a bunch, but it kind of gives our tag almost like an embossed look, like it's coming off the page. I am going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to save it on my desktop as a PNG, just because when I put things on Facebook, I always save it as a PNG. I read one time it stays sharper that way. Don't know if it's true. It's just what I read. I'm going to call it Finished Tag and click Save. Now, if I wanted to keep all of these layers and come back and work on the same tag over and over, we still can do that because this was our blur layer. And if we turn everything off and go to our plain shadow layer, this is still our tag. So you could take that layer and build off of it all over again. So to save it, so you have all the layers, you're going to go File, Save As, and you want to make sure PSD is selected. And I'm going to name it Finished. No, too many D's. Finished Tag 1, because I'm probably going to do more than one. And save it. That way, when I open it next time, all of your layers are still going to be there. Okay, I'm going to send you a link to download the folder. You have all of April until the end of May to create a tag and share it with the group if you want to stay. Otherwise, you can take your free stuff and just enjoy it. All right.